George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series have resonated with readers for over 20 years and have made a significant cultural impact. Over a decade ago, his books were adapted into the award-winning HBO series Game of Thrones, creating an interest in fantasy literature not experienced since Tolkien's Lord of the Rings in the early 2000s. With Game of Thrones ending after 8 seasons, fans await with anticipation for the next installment of the Song of Ice and Fire saga. However, 4 years onward, nothing has yet materialized. In numerous interviews, Martin has told the public that the book is coming. We all just need to be patient. However, this hasn't gone well with the majority of people. This is bullshit. Why are we waiting this long for a book? It's easy. Write it, publish it, and we all read it. I think he's milking it for everything it's got. I mean, why? Tolkien never screwed his readers like this. He released the bulk of his material before he died, like a true writer would. Others, however, have come to Martin's defense. George R.R. Martin is entitled to take as much time as needed to write his book. Writing a book isn't like penning some grocery list. It's a craft, and he's putting every much the same level of craftsmanship into this novel as he has in previous installments. When he's satisfied with the work, he will release it. And then there are some who are so impatient, they decide to take drastic measures. Well, as you can see here, I've built a time machine. And if you think it looks awfully familiar, I took the design from the transporter pod from The Fly, but without any of the messed up hijinks that led to the untimely demise of the protagonist. Amazing! How long did it take you to build this? Well, 3 years. As soon as Game of Thrones ended, I expected Winds of Winter to come out like that. But a year passed and nothing happened, and then George R.R. Martin said it would be a while. When the pandemic hit, I figured, oh, he's got nothing to do. He'll just bang away on that old book and we'll see it next year. I waited, but nothing came of it. So I decided to take matters into my hands and voila! So, what's the plan? Well, my plan is to go into the past and encourage George R.R. Martin to start and finish Winds of Winter. Maybe go a little further into the past and see if we can get a few more things patched out. What do you mean? Peter taps his nose and enters the pod, and it disappears. He arrives in 1972 in an apartment with a young George R.R. Martin sitting there looking gloomy. Peter steps out of the pod. Who the hell are you? I'm from the future, don't worry. What's up with you? Oh, I tried selling one of my stories and the publisher laughed in my face and called it a piece of shit. Man, this bites. Huh. He said no one will ever read my work, and that if it did get published by some miracle, it would be unnoticed and underappreciated. I swear, if I do become a big writer one day, I'm gonna milk it for everything it's got. I'm gonna keep people waiting for years and years just to know how my work matters. That answers a lot of questions now. Say, George, who is this publisher? Oh, someone from Pendant. I don't know why. He turns to see Peter is gone. He goes over to the pod and steps in. Woo! Neat. He presses the lever and the pod vanishes. Peter returns a few hours later to find the pod gone. Alright, well, What the? Are you kidding me? He taps his wristwatch. Total recall. The pod appears, and he gets back in and returns to the present. All right, time to see if Winds of Winter is out. He checks his phone, but is astonished. The fuck? No Game of Thrones and no Song of Ice and Fire? What happened here? He checks Wikipedia. George R.R. Martin gave up writing and became a religious leader. The head of the Church of Martin? Yeah, and get this. The books are not called A Song of Ice and Fire, but the Tomes of Martinism. Well, it's not a complete loss, right? He goes out to see numerous septs around the city. He goes to a store to see Martin on TV. And now, His Holiness Lord George has just concluded a visit to Congress where they have unanimously agreed to pass a bill banning the mocking of his religion and copying the holy texts without permission. Peter turns to see people being herded away into a police car. Ah, shit. He goes back to the pod and ventures back in time and finds George at the publisher. The publisher is reading the draft. Kid, this stinks. It makes absolutely no sense. If you want to be a writer, you are SOL. I mean, I've crapped better drafts than this. As he laughs, George looks crestfallen. Peter runs in. Now, who the hell are you? I'm from the future, and I'm telling you this man will become a sensation. You must publish his work. Oh, I see. You're desperate if you think this is gonna work. Hiring some goon to pretend he's from the future? Now get out of my... Peter grabs the publisher and punches him, and he falls out the window. He grabs the phone. Hello? Yes, publish the story. Now. Never mind who this is. He looks at George. Promise me this. When you're a big, successful writer, for the love of God, write and complete your books ASAP. People are literally dying to read them. Don't get drunk on fame, or sidetracked with other bullshit projects, or even working on side TV projects. Just get the books done. And also enforce stricter quality control in the TV adaptations, because some people get ideas of their own and they just get in the way and they F things up. Got it. George nods. Peter returns to his pod and in the present checks. Now let's see if Winds of Winter has come out at... What the? Really? Well, what's up? George R.R. Martin has decided to indefinitely put off writing and releasing Winds of Winter, stating, if people are literally dying to read my work, then it must be really good. I have decided to stop at A Dance with Dragons. I am taking the George Costanza route and leaving on a high note. God damn it. So it didn't work? I guess I gotta go back and convince George that I mean business. Like, really, really mean business. He gets back into the pod and ventures into the past once more. George R.R. Martin would eventually release Winds of Winter, thanks to Peter's interference. However, the advice he was given made George produce a subpar work that disappointed many, many people, and he ended up becoming irrelevant. All future projects were cancelled as a result, and Martin retreated into isolation, where he now peddles bizarre conspiracy theories and claims to be the head of a new religion. I suppose some things just can't be meddled with.